Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. So my name is Nur Atira Balkis and there will be Beatrice, Jita, Shabir, Caroline and also Zulaiha from BES. So today we are going to present our handbook about Code of Ethics for teachers to conduct online teaching. So let's start with the introduction first. The first one, the traditional classroom is no longer the sole domain of teaching. It is now coexist with a vast digital landscape that offers both opportunities and challenge. So the role of educators has undergone profound transformation. The second one, the Code of Ethics for teachers for conducting online teaching is an indispensable resource designed for teachers to establish a robust ethical framework to guide their conduct in this dynamic context. So the educators can actually embrace the online teaching platform by all of these. The third one, there are many skills such as communication skill and digital skill in this handbook. So it can nurture strong communication skill for online instruction and also it can master essential digital skill for effective teaching. So the last one will be, this handbook equips educators with the knowledge and tools needed to create a productive online learning environment. So next, I will pass to the next presenter.
For the guideline on attaining knowledge and understanding skills in online teaching, there are 4 main ways on how you can do this as a teacher. So the first one is understanding online learning principles. The second one is digital content creation, engagement and interaction, and lastly is the professional development. So for the first one, you need, as a teacher, you need to have basic principles on the internet education. So where you need to know the many concepts and meanings. So, and for the next one is the digital content creation. Digital content creation where you need to, as a teacher, you need to create digital content such as video courses, slideshows, etc., where it is used in helping the students to learn. Third one is the engagement and interactions where the teacher needs to use many ways to engage with the student and interact with them because it is important in online learning as and there are tools to be using this such as whiteboard, virtual whiteboards, group projects, and so on. And finally is the professional development where uh, teachers where teachers can to attain knowledge, teachers can attend seminars, webinars, conferences to get more knowledge and understanding skills in online teaching.
Hello, my name is Caroline and I will present my part, which is communication skill. Communication skill defined as the ability to convey or share ideas and feeling effectively. Several experts agree that communication skills include conveying messages without misinterpretation or misleading others. So my first point is be clear and concise. So this point is use simple language and avoid jargon or technical terms that may confuse students. The presentation will be easier to understand. So my second point is provide clear instruction, which is clearly outline assignments, requirements, deadlines and submission guidelines to avoid confusion and ensure students understand expectation. So my next point is encourage active participant. So as an educator, it is a duty to engage students in discussion, ask questions and create opportunity for collaboration to foster a sense of community and active learning. So my last point in communication skill is use multiply communication channels. So utilize various communication tools such as email, video conferencing, and online discussion boards to cater to different learning preferences and needs.
Hi everyone, my name is Patricia, and next I'll be talking about practical skills in online teaching. So, practical skills are the abilities that is used to perform real-world tasks effectively, and teachers should include number one, clear learning objective, where you tell your students what to do and what are they going to learn throughout the lessons. Number two is to use diverse assessment methods such as quizzes, projects, and even discussions to evaluate their performance. Number three is to have rubrics and apply it consistently in every assessment. It is important to tell your students what is your expectation and what criteria are they supposed to fulfill in every assessment. Number four is to have feedback and self-assessment. Try to provide constructive feedback on the students' work so the students can have a self-reflections and know their own progressions. And number five is active engagement with the students and colleagues, where you can organize activities through the internet and collaborate together and work as a team using the online tools and technologies. Lastly is the ethics and assessment. Teachers should always be fair and honest in checking works and ensure that students do not plagiarize, do not copy, or do not do any cheating. So these are the guidelines that can help educators to maintain professionalism and fairness in online teaching. So next we're going to talk about codes of ethics and practical skills in online teaching. So codes of ethics act as a framework for both educators and students to maintain integrity in online education. So teachers should always ensure fairness and equity at all times, where you provide students with the same opportunity. Number two is to be honest and transparency and make sure your work is honest and not to plagiarize or to copy other resources without any reference. And number three is to have privacy and data security, where you keep students' personal information and assessment data confidential. Number four is to be professional at all times and ensure that you talk professionally, communicate professionally, and make sure to resolve conflicts with a positive way. Number five is to have continuous improvement. So teachers should always improve themselves and keep updated with new resources, new learning methods. And however, there are limitations to these codes of ethics when it comes to subjectivity, lack of enforcement, cultural variation, limited coverage, and technological changes. So for example, for subjectivity, these codes of ethics can be considered as ethical for some people, but some people may think that it is not ethical because they view it differently. So it becomes to disagreement. Lack of enforcement means these codes of ethics can only be effective only if it is enforced and followed. So these are the limitations to the codes of ethics.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Cynthia and I will present assessing interpersonal skill in online teaching. So, interpersonal ability are needed for maintaining professionalism and ethics in online learning environment. They are much more important in the framework of online teaching. In effect, interpersonal skills are necessary for success in this environment since online teaching brings special challenges and opportunity. First point is effective online communication. Educators need to expert and alert on every email, messaging, discussion, which are all common form of written communication in online education, need to be delivered in polite and moral way. Besides that, being a listener in virtual educational, educators need to show that they are actively listen and also understand by responding student worry and inquiry in an efficient and connected way. Third point is digital fairness and acceptance. An educator who has interpersonal ability connected to inclusion are better to able to meet the different learning requirement of their students, giving them an equal chance to engage and achieve success in virtual school environment. Last but not least from me is fourth point is managing technical challenges. When students run into technological problem, We, as an educator, need to show patience, empathy, so we can guide them through this situation in an ethical and professional manner.
Next, for Code of Ethics for assessing digital skill in online teaching. As educators committed to fostering digital skill in online teaching, we recognize the importance of upholding ethical principles to ensure the fair and equitable assessment of our students' digital competency. So firstly, inclusivity. So as a teacher, we can provide alternative assessment methods such as oral presentation or video submissions for students with disabilities who may face challenge with written assessment. Next, clarity in grading. Share model assessment or example of exemplary work to help students understand the expectations for different level of performance. Then, timeliness. So communicate in advance if there are any change to the assessment schedule and provide reasonable accommodations for students facing exceptional circumstances. Next, accessibility. So share accessible materials and resources that students can refer to for improving their digital skill. The last one, academic integrity. So implement plagiarism detection tools to ensure the originality of student work in digital skill assessment. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Gita. So I will present the next skill, which is numeracy skill. So first of all, educators have an ethical obligation to teach and access numeracy skill in a way that is fair, inclusive, and respectful of students' different backgrounds and talents, while adhering to principle of justice, equity, and honesty. So basically, this skill is useful for subject mathematics in online teaching, but other subject also useful. So as you can see, there are 5 points, so I will explain one by one points. So the first point is legal and ethical observance. So comply with all applicable rules and regulations governing online education and numeracy testing, maintaining high ethical standards in all phases of online education and numeracy assessment. Second point is various assessment methods. To properly evaluate numeracy skill, use a variety of assessment approach, including both formative and summative evaluation. Recognize that pupil learning styles and preference may differ. Next is professional honesty. Maintain the highest professional standards of honesty in the design, administration, and evaluation of numeracy exams. In all assessment-related actions, act honestly and ethically. The fourth one is expectations that are realistic, which is ascertain that the evaluation criteria and expectations for numeracy abilities are consistent with the course learning objective and the student's prior knowledge. Set unreasonably high standards to avoid discouraging or unfairly disadvantaged kids. Last point is genuine the evaluation, which is where feasible, create tests that reflect real world uses of numeracy abilities. Encourage students to apply their knowledge in real world circumstance, hence encouraging authentic.
We're going to talk about codes of ethics and practical skills in online teaching. So, codes of ethics act as a framework for both educators and students to maintain integrity in online education. So, teachers should always ensure fairness and equity at all times, where you provide students with the same opportunity. Number 2 is to be honest and transparency, and make sure your work is honest and not to plagiarize or to copy other resources without any reference. And number 3 is to have privacy and data security, where you keep students' personal information and assessment data confidential. Number 4 is to be professional at all times and ensure that you talk professionally, communicate professionally, and make sure to resolve conflicts with a positive way. Number 5 is to have continuous improvement. So teachers should always improve themselves and keep updated with new resources, new learning methods. And however, there are limitations to these codes of ethics when it comes to subjectivity, lack of enforcement, cultural variation, limited coverage, and technological changes. So for example, for subjectivity, these codes of ethics can be considered as ethical for some people, but some people may think that it is not that ethical because they view it differently. So it becomes to disagreement. Lack of enforcement means these codes of ethics can only be effective only if it is enforced and followed. So these are the limitations to the codes of ethics. So next we're going to talk about the leadership skills in online teaching. So it is important for teachers to develop leadership skills in order to show a good role model to the students, in order to maintain an effective classroom, and to advocate for students' needs. So these leadership skills will help to prepare the teacher to create a conducive learning environment. So here are the guidelines for teachers to develop leadership skills. Number 1 is to stay informed. So teachers should be updated with knowledge on the online education trends. Number 2 is to collaborate actively and stay engaged in peers learning, where you exchange knowledge with other educators to broaden your perspective. Number 3 is to advocate inclusivity, where you create accessible contents and promote curriculum. Number 4, to build relationship with your students and colleagues. Number 5, prioritize student success by actively monitoring them and support and giving assistance when they need help. Lastly is to embrace innovation through utilizing technology tools and to create an interactive and fun learning class. So the limitation to develop leadership skills, number 1 is time and effort. You would have to spend a lot of time and effort to develop a skill. Number 2, resistance to change. The teachers may resist to change to new methods and new practices. Number 3, resources constraints. Teacher may require training resources, or they may have limited access to necessary technologies. Number 4, balancing responsibilities. As you know that the teacher would have a lot of responsibility to deal with. So to focus on their own skill, it would be a challenge to them. Number 5 is institutional barriers, such as institutional policies and cultural issues. Next, we have autonomy in online teaching. So what is autonomy? Autonomy is basically about being independent and being able to make your own choice, your own decision without being influenced. So the guidelines to autonomy in online teaching is, number 1 is to define clear objective, set your goals. Number 2 is to encourage self-organization. So where you manage your time, you manage your own schedule. Number 3 is to facilitate self-paced learning, and where you can try to explore more on your own. Number 4 is to offer guidance and motivations to help out the students. And lastly is to foster confidence by celebrating your achievements to boost up your own confidence and well-being. So the limitations to autonomy are, number 1, technical barriers, where the teacher may be lack of technical skills. Number 2, lack of self-discipline, and teacher is struggling to have a more structured and focused approach in online teaching. And number 3, variable motivation, where it is tough to keep all students motivated consistently. Number 4, content complexity. Some subjects or topics is difficult and challenging to teach it online. And lastly, the assessment methods. The assessment methods is it may be limiting to find a suitable one to use it online. Responsibilities of online educators. So responsibility is the duty to fulfill obligation and to be accountable for one's actions and commitment. So teacher is responsible for students' actions, and their responsibility often includes by providing them effective instruction, communication and support. When a student face a problem or having any challenges, they should be able to communicate with you, and as a teacher you should be able to assist them. Number 3 is to provide assessment and feedback. So it is advisable for the teachers to provide a constructive feedback to the students after every assessment, so they would know their progression and how to improve themselves. Number 4, course design and organization. So teacher is also responsible to design course, to create lesson plans and organize activities. Lastly is the professional or development, where teacher must be professional and to keep updated with new learning methods, with new practices, and open to other resources. And the limitations to this responsibility of a teacher: number 1, time constraints. Teacher would have a difficulty in managing your time. Number 2, technical challenges and technical issues in the online lesson will disrupt the teaching process. Number 3, limited personalization. Online teaching may be difficult for teachers to personalize their instruction for individual students. Number 4, assessment limitation. Online assessment may not be secure, may not be accurate to measure a student's knowledge. Number 5, diverse learning styles. different students have different learning styles, so it is difficult to cope with everyone's needs.
Moving on to my another part, there is personal skills. So personal skill or also called soft skills for teacher refer to non-technical abilities and qualities that teachers possess which enable them to effectively interact with students and create a positive learning environments. So this skill includes strong communications skills, empathy, patience, adaptability, organization, creativity, and leadership. So my first point is the disciplinary mind. So from this point, we can establish a strong instructor present in online course and also communicate expectation and assignments clearly and consistently. Next, facilitate online course discussion and other activity on a regular substantial basis. So it can develop expertise with technology tools and be ready to provide assistance to students. So they can reverse course documents and web address so they are accurate and current. So my second point is the synthesizing minds. So this can provide opportunities for students to consider different perspectives and opinions. Not only that, it can contribute to online discussion with thoughtful posts that synthesize information and ideas. So it can bring in ideas from multiple areas and disciplines. So here my third point, which is the creating mind. So this personal skill can demonstrate and encourage creativity in the online course environment. So this can establish an inviting environment in which to learn and create. Not only that, it can foster student collaboration and communication. So my last point is the ethical mind, which can provide an accurate description of your own backgrounds and qualification. So that can model and teach ethical behavior and also follow applicable copyright laws and give attribution to the work of others.
So the next one is Code of Ethics for Entrepreneurial Skills on Online Teaching. So there are 5 main ways on this topic, which are resourcefulness, innovation and creativity, customer-centric approach, time management and efficiency, and innovation and creativity. So for the first one, entrepreneurship usually relates to resourcefulness, where we need to have unlimited resources. But in this case, there is limited resources due to many factors. So teachers who want teachers need to find for a cost-effective way to improve the quality of their resources. So they can't just spend a lot to get these resources. That's for these teaching materials and support services and everything. So the next one is innovation and creativity, where innovative ways of delivering content and engaging students on the internet are often by entrepreneurial teachers. In order to improve the effectiveness and interactivity of the online course, the teacher needs to find some media or anything which is interactable with the students to keep them engaged throughout the whole online class. So the third one is customer-centric approach, where entrepreneurs prioritize their needs of their customers. So in this case, the customers are the students. So they need to always the teachers need to always maintain the best interests of the students to keep them engaged throughout the whole online class and not get bored. So they can get feedback from the students or respond to the concerns and make adjustment to enhance their learning experience. Next is the time management and efficiency. Entrepreneurs often are related with being time managing and efficient because they need to manage their time and resources effectively to get the best. So as a teacher, you need to get effective time management for the creation of courses, interaction with students, and ongoing improvement on teaching techniques on the internet. So finally is the innovation and creativity. Um, as an entrepreneur teacher, there has to be innovation and creativity because if a teacher does the same open book and everything, it'll be boring and not engaging with the students on online courses. So the teachers need to find new elements and ways to interact with the students. That's all from me.
So next is ethic and professionalism skill in online teaching. So what is ethic and professionalism? So ethic and professionalism skills for online teaching refer to the ethical, principle and professional behavior that educators should exhibit when educating and interacting with students in a digital learning environment. So I will explain one by one the points. So the first one is methods of flexible assessment. Be adaptable in your evaluation procedures to account for very cultural and individual viewpoints on ethics and professionalism. Encourage students to share their ethical perspective while remaining respectful and professional. Next is model ethical behavior. As an educator, establish an example of ethical behavior and professional for students to follow. Maintain strong professional and ethical standards in your own activities and communication. The third point is keep privacy and confidentiality. Safeguard students from personal information as well as any confidential correspondence regarding ethical concerns. Maintain caution and confidentiality when dealing with serious ethical concerns. The fourth point is constructive and timely feedback. Give students timely and constructive criticism to help them understand and improve their ethical and professional behavior. Allow kids the opportunity to raise questions and seek help on ethical issues. The last point is inclusivity and accessibility. Ensure that all students, including those with impairments, have access to assessment materials and techniques related to ethics and professionalism. Encourage inclusivity and foster an atmosphere in which all students feel valued and appreciated. That's all from me. Pass to the next presenter.
In conclusion, the Code of Ethics for Teachers for Conducting Online Teaching is an invaluable resource that equips educators with the essential tools. So these comprehensive handbooks cover a spectrum of critical facts. The second one, this handbook underscores the perpetual need for educators to remain avid learner, especially in the ever-evolving landscape of digital tools and teaching methodologies. So effective communication stands as a cornerstone of online teaching excellence. The third one, above all, this handbook underscores the profound importance of ethical conduct and professionalism in the realm of teaching. So by adhering to these guidelines, teachers not only deliver outstanding online education but also serve as an exemplary role model for their students. So the last one, incorporating the principle elucidate with this handbook, educators can navigate the dynamic landscape of online teaching with confidence. So that's all from us. Thank you for paying attention.